Hello again, it's Louise. We are here for lesson 19 and it's our morphology focus. So let's start with a couple of those definitions. I do need to put my pen down because we need those actions, don't we? So a morpheme, do it with me. A morpheme is the smallest unit of meaning within a word. Next one is that base word. So a base word is the main part of a word and it holds the original meaning. And a base word, it can stand on its own. A prefix, or a prefix comes at the start of a word and it changes the meaning of the base word. And a prefix, it can't stand on its own. So let's now jump into those prefixes that we've learned so far. Dis. So dis means not, a part, an absence of. Dis. Un means not. And re means again. Good job. Remember, you can always rewind this and do it again in your own time. So now let's go to a suffix. So a suffix comes at the end of a word to give the base word a different meaning, and a suffix is not a word on its own. Let's just review a couple that we've done previously. So one who or a comparison. Ing, happening now. Full, full of or having. Lee, like or how. And est means greatest, more than or most. Terrific. Now, do you remember the new one from last week? It was the root. So a root is part of a word that cannot generally stand on its own. A root word part needs to be joined to either a prefix or a suffix. Do you remember that one from last week? We learnt the word form. It's a root. Now, it was really tricky last week because it can actually be a base, this one as well. But we know it's a Latin root. Form means to shape. Great job. Our learning intention today. So our learning intention for today is that we are going to be learning the Latin prefix sub. I'm sure that you can now start to think about so many words you know that have that prefix sub. What does sub precisely mean? Sub means under or below. Repeat, sub means under or below. Stand up and do that action with me. Sub means under or below. S-U-B, sub. It's a prefix. Got it. Where did it originate from? Latin. Great. Let's come up to the board now and have a look at some word prompts that have the prefix sub. Over here, we have submarine. Think about a submarine. What does it do? It goes below or under the surface of the water. We have a subway train. We don't really have any subway trains here in Adelaide, but if you've travelled, you may have been on a subway before. What's the main characteristic? It travels below the ground. Aha. Remember we had a picture like this for lair in our word vocabulary? This word here is subterrane, and that means below the surface. So below ground. This one, we have a subtraction sign. Subtract means take away. Over here, another prompt word we have is subscribe. So sub meaning below or under, scribe means to write. So when you subscribe to something, you write your name down below and join up to something. Our last prompt over here, this is like the word curriculum is our big overarching term. Under curriculum, we have subjects like PE and health, music, the arts, maths, and English, what we're doing now. Terrific. So they are our prompt words. So Now have a pen and paper ready because I would like you now to do some word building. We've done this each week, so you know what to do here. We have our root in the middle here. Our root is tract. Now, tract means draw or pull from. Sub is our new prefix today. Sub means, did I hear you? Say it again, please. Sub means below or under. Okay, and now we have some of our suffixes that we've learnt previously. So S means plural, ing happening now, ed past tense, li like or how, and person, who, or comparison. So pause the video now, try and build as many words as you can, and then we'll come back. How did you go with your word building? Subtracts, subtracting, subtracted, subtractly, not a word in English. So even though it sounds like it could be, it's not. And this one's a little bit tricky too, because subtract it's really close to subtract or. Now subtract or isn't one we've learnt yet, and that is a real word in English, but subtract cross it out, not a word in English. Rightio, we're up to our word building part of our lesson. You'll be getting very good at this by now. Let's have a look here at this middle column because we need to take note here. Some of them are base words, some of them are root parts. Do you remember we had a bit of a prompt last week around these? Now, marine, word on its own, base, way, base, terrain, word on its own, it's a base. Now, scribe is actually a word on its own, but it actually comes from the Latin scrib. Now, scrib is a root. Scribe is a base word. Tract, that's one from last week. Remember, that is not a word on its own. So tract means to draw or pull, and that is a root. It's just a part. It must have a prefix or suffix. Last one, ject. Ject means to throw, and that is also a root. It must have other word parts to turn it into an actual word. All right, let's come to our prefix today, sub. Sub means do the action, below or under. And here are our suffixes. Let's do just a couple together, and then you'll go off and do it on your own. So let's take subtract. Let's build that word together. So prefix, sub, root, tract, and I'm going to put a little tiny capital R there so that we know this is just a root. And, we've used s before. What about subtracting? So we've built our word. Word, please. Say it. Can I hear? Let's write it. Subtracting. Terrific. Let's do one more before I send you off to do it on your own. Let's take ject. Now, ject means to throw. Now we put it with sub. Sub means below or under. So remember when we talked about curriculum, that's the broad banner, and then we had things underneath. Subject means to throw topics underneath the main topic. So we might have the topic of maths, and then we throw in underneath that shape and algebra and geometry. That is where the word subject comes from. So let's do subjects. Let's do it together. Sub is my prefix, ject, base or root. It's a root, needs more parts. And what did I say? Subjects. Excellent. And you know what I'm going to do next. I'm going to write the whole word. Right now, I would like you to zoom in on this chart. You can see how we've set this grid out. You need to copy that grid into your workbook and continue on writing as many words as you can using these base and roots, prefix, sub, and our suffixes. Off you go. How many words did you get? 5? 12? I wonder if anyone got up to 20. That would be awesome. The thing you have to check though, is it a real word in English? Now to do that, you may need to look it up in a dictionary, a hardcover dictionary or online, just to double check, because even though they sound to our ears like words that are real in English, quite possibly they are not. Well done, we've come to the end of the lesson. So now we just need to review that learning intention today. What was our prefix? Our prefix was sub. Do the action for me, I'm watching. Below or under. Repeat after me. Sub means below or under. Excellent. Now we're up to that independent activity and then you're done for the day. So today, our independent activity is on your screen now, you will see 3 sentences and 3 missing word boxes. You need to choose the right word and place it into that sentence so it makes sense. Then you need to illustrate and bring that sentence to life. What's the mental model you build in your mind when you read that sentence? Bring it alive with that illustration. Good luck with that. I'll see you tomorrow.